let me ask you about Bijan Robinson. There's a lot of hype coming out about him and everything. How do you expect him to do? And are there any other rookie running backs that you're kind of keeping an eye on?
Bijan is definitely the top dog. He's a first round pick. I've seen him go 1 overall in some mocks,
Wow.
which is crazy. But I mean, who knows? Saquon Barkley, was an elite running back as a rookie. So was Zeke. And most running backs in the last 10 to 12 years who've been drafted in the top 10 in the NFL draft have been top 10 rookies among the running backs. And we've seen it with Zeke and Todd Gurley, and I mentioned Saquon Barkley and many others. Adrian Peterson. I think the only guy who drafted in the top 10 who didn't put up a top 10 season as a rookie was CJ Spiller.
Oh,
So that's
wow.
going back a little bit ways. So Jahmyr Gibbs is moving up too, although I don't know that the hype is so warranted in PPR leagues. He's going as a 3rd round pick, but David Montgomery's still there. Not saying I wouldn't take Jahmyr Gibbs, but I'd rather see him as a 4th round pick. If somebody wants to go out and get him, that's fine. But he's moving on up. And honestly, a lot of the other rookies just ended up in bad spots, right? I mean, Zach Charbonnet landed in a bad spot in Seattle because they have Ken Walker. Devon Achane is at best the 3rd running back in Miami. Maybe he sneaks into the 2nd spot during the season. Jeff Wilson got put on injured reserve. But in terms of those rookie running backs, there's just not a lot of guys who ended up in spots where you can definitively say they're going to get touches. Even Charbonnet was a 2nd round pick. We don't know what his touch share is going to be. We don't know what his workload is going to be because he's got another really good running back ahead of him in Ken Walker.
Yeah. Fabs, I cover the Chargers, and a lot of people are high on their offense thanks to the addition of offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Are you buying stock in the Chargers players? You have Herbert, Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, I'm Austin's a good buddy of mine, so I'm
Yeah.
always in on him if I can get him. And he's been the best running back in fantasy football 2 straight seasons. As for Justin Herbert, I think last year was kind of the anomaly. I don't think that's going to be what happens again. He was hurt. He had the rib injury. His offensive line wasn't great. He had both of his starting wide receivers hurt at different points in the year. And so it kind of fell apart for him. His ADOT was real bad. He's now going to end up being the guy that I think he was the year before. And that is, one of the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks in fantasy football with Kellen Moore at the helm, assuming his receivers can stay healthy. And Keenan Allen, I've drafted him all over the place as a wide receiver too, normally getting him at the end of round 2, the beginning of round 3, somewhere in that area. Mike Williams, we hope he bounces back from what was a disappointing year. And he certainly has the talent to do that. And Quentin Johnston, he's a late round flyer at best. I mean, somebody would have to get hurt for him to really come in and make a consistent fantasy impact. And he's still behind Joshua Palmer too. So I don't know that he's going to come in and be superstar right away. And then, Gerald Everett. Gerald Everett's a decent tight end too at a thin position. And then hell, I even like Cameron Dicker, the kicker, to break out this year behind that offense. Hey man, I know kickers don't get any respect, but I may as well mention them. You got to start one, right, in most leagues.
Hey, honestly, last year they needed him twice to make game-winning kicks, and he went in there and he did it. So I feel like sometimes the kickers get a bad rap, but
They
I
always
think,
do, yeah.
yeah. But I think Cameron, he has ice in his veins. I mean, we asked him after the game, "Oh, what went? Like you hit that game winner? Yeah, it was just another kick." And you're like, "No, I know, but it was the game winner." And he's just kind of like, "Yeah, but it's fine." So we're like, "Oh wow, we're really impressed with the way he just has ice in his veins."